Welcome back to Blind Item Breakdown. We've got some wild blind items for you guys today. This one is about Blake Lively. It reads, this A-list actress thinks a couple of hours cosplaying at a bakery is going to make everyone love her. We are well past that stage. Now, this reminds me of when we see an influencer or a celebrity go to like a McDonald's or Wendy's and they cosplay, as a working person for the day, which in my mind has always left a bad taste in my mouth. Someone called out Blake Lively saying she looked filthy looking with scraggly hair draped all over the donuts. This is a public health hazard. Another comment reads, bad PR move considering she had no hairnet on or gloves and half of those pastries had her hair all over them. How long before the health department shows up for an inspection? The alley commented, she's in love with PR and she thinks it's a problem solver. Maybe her PR manager told her to do this, but the public is just gearing up after that fiasco with poor little ends. Can't wait for depositions to begin. And we recently spoke about how Ryan Reynolds forced their 7-year-old daughter to repeat an inappropriate line over and over again in his Deadpool movie. But this video isn't about that. It's about Blake Lively rubbing her dirty hair all over the pastries. It looks like she was in Connecticut at a donut shop. She was working behind the counter at Rise Donuts, which she described as her happy place. Keep in mind, I don't think there's really any great explanation for why she's like working there. In my opinion, it's just this cosplaying as like a working person, someone who actually has to go to a donut shop and make donuts for their paycheck, not just suing their co-star for millions of dollars. But she did share this on Instagram, of course, because in my opinion, this was a clear PR move.
So Blake Lively seems to be on a mission to make America yummy again. She was just outspotted serving donuts at a small donut shop called Rise Donuts in Connecticut. But are we falling for this PR tactic? Feels a little reminiscent of something we've already seen before. Am I right? Listen, and working at McDonald's may have helped Trump win the election, but is it going to help Blake Lively win back the public? Because she's so relatable. She's like, oh my God, guys, look, I'm baking donuts and I'm sharing them with the people of Connecticut. And a lot of people are pointing out her hair. At first, I was like, okay, it's a little frizzy. We should be used to that. But people are like, no, her hair is on the donuts. She's not wearing a hairnet. She doesn't have her hair pulled back. Then people are dragging her sister, who's in the photo as well, because her sister has her camera open. I mean, very clearly staged. I don't think anybody can dispute that this was a staged PR op. But the question comes down to why, and is anybody falling for this down to earth, I can work at the donut shop type of gal?
I feel like this bakery is even a little bit more upscale than like, what a McDonald's would be considered. I don't know. I've pretty much worked at the mall. I've worked at a Chick-fil-A. I worked at a Qdoba. I worked at Glory Days Grill, a sports bar. I worked at a hair salon. I worked at a ballroom cleaning up everything. We all know I used to work in the government. I used to swim coach. I've had a bunch of different jobs. Never worked at a bakery though. Other people did run into Blake and described her as sweet and lovely. It seems like she was on her best behavior. Here's a clip of her behind the scenes. Now the comments are so funny under these posts. This person writes, she's back there rewriting recipes, because we all know how she was so keen on rewriting the script for It Ends With Us. Another person writes, well, she said she went to get food, but she actually needed authorship of the whole restaurant. Leigh Johnson writes, she put the owners in the basement. Another comment reads, she's now crediting herself as the pastry chef and has updated recipes to her new and improved version. Did she follow you to your car and get your license plate? Which is similar to the situation we spoke about where she was like stalking this lady who ran into her and her handful of nannies at a hotel. Another comment reads, wow, she looks so emotionally devastated. And then this comment reads, is she telling staff how to do their job? Now, it doesn't seem like Ryan Reynolds was around. Maybe he's not in town. Maybe he's on, well, I was going to say babysitting duty, but I remember she has like 4 nannies, allegedly. Her older sister, Robin Lively, was there with her. As we all know, Blake and Ryan filed to dismiss the lawsuit that Justin Baldoni has filed against them. Blake is claiming that Justin weaponized defamation allegations as retaliation against her and argued that her speech was protected. Justin Baldoni's attorney said their requests were cowardly and abhorrent. So I don't think it's gonna go through, but we're gonna be keeping a close eye on everything. You know what's worse than getting injured? Fighting with the insurance company afterwards. They will often stall, delay, and lowball you because their goal is to pay you as little as possible because they are not on your side. That's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. They are the largest injury law firm in America with over 1,000 attorneys and millions of clients served. They've secured billions of dollars for settlements and verdicts, including a $26 million payout in Philadelphia, 40 times more than what the insurance company originally offered. And the best part about Morgan & Morgan is that they don't charge anything up front. There is no consulting fee, there's no hourly rate, there's no hidden cost by going and getting them to help you out. So if you've been hurt in an accident, Morgan & Morgan has your back if you become their client. You can go to forthepeople.com/Sloan or scan the QR code on the screen to start your claim now. You probably could get it submitted before this video is even over with, and it's not going to hurt to go and figure out how much you are owed. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan, for sponsoring this video, and enjoy. Now, this is wild. It's a long blind item. It's about David and Victoria Beckham, Posh Spice. And this is about an affair he had on his wife that he loves so dearly. Remember that Netflix special? This celebrity family has always been messed up. They are rich and they are famous and definitely A-list. Mom and dad have been married forever. The whole family is attractive, but there's always been a hint of something going on behind the scenes because it always feels like a house of cards could fall at any time. Back in the day, the patriarch of the family, so David, was hooking up with a waitress. This was par for the course. Both mom and dad show a front of monogamy, but behind the scenes, it's pretty much anything goes as long as you don't get caught. Do not get caught. The waitress got pregnant and our A-lister forced her to get rid of it and paid her some money to stay quiet. He told her he didn't want kids and it would mess up what they had together. It was about that same time that his wife was pregnant. The waitress found out and went ballistic and threatened to do all kinds of things. She was out of control. I mean, I would be too if he had you get rid of the baby because he told you he doesn't want kids, but then he's having one with another woman. Well, it turns out she went into full stalking mode, and she also had photos and videos of them together, not just with the husband, David Beckham, but other compromising positions as well. Interesting. Our wife was ordered to bed rest because of the stress, but ended up losing one of the babies. She had been pregnant with twins, although the public had never heard a word of it. She was enraged and had the waitress beaten, but it was made to look like some guy followed her home from her workplace. It took a lot of years, but the waitress found out who did it and had her own revenge, which is why our celebrities tried to cover it up, but were never quite successful in doing so. Holy allegations. Okay, that was all alleged. That is just a blind item. That is crazy. So we've got this other woman, this waitress, who I guess she had an affair with David Beckham allegedly. She got pregnant and then she got rid of it because David didn't want a kid, but at the same time, Posh Spice, Victoria, she was pregnant with twins, but lost one of them because of stress of the situation, then allegedly had the waitress beaten up after a work shift. This comment reads, "That is the juiciest and most well-written blind I've seen in a hot minute." One person clarified it was his assistant, not a waitress. You got confused because she said she left him because he didn't leave a tip for a waitress. Another person added, "This sounds juicy." So let's dive into this story, but I do want to acknowledge that comment that I do believe this was actually his assistant, which makes more sense. She was closer to the home. She wasn't a waitress. And her name is Rebecca Luz, and she doubles down on claims that she had an affair with David Beckham. She claims she had a 4-month-long affair with him more than 20 years ago. She spoke with 60 Minutes Australia, and she shares that she was his personal assistant in 2003, and she had this 4-month-long affair whenever he was married to Victoria Beckham. Now, of course, David is denying the claims, calling them ludicrous, but Rebecca says, in my opinion, she believes it's brave for herself to go up against them, saying, "I have stuck to the truth. I've never exaggerated. I've never lied about a single thing." She says, "Why? Because I'm going against the strongest, most powerful couple in media who have all the money in the world for the best PR and the best lawyers. And all I've had on my side was the truth." Rebecca, who's now married to a doctor who she shares 2 teenage boys with, began working for David after he was transferred to Real Madrid from Manchester United. 2 different football teams. Now, she spoke about their relationship in 2004, and I have an old clip of that, so let's go ahead and react to it together.
You know, we were just locked into each other all night, conversation-wise. I mean, other people noticed it, other people at the dinner. I sat opposite him, and the rest, you know, sort of down the table, and then it was just him and I talking and laughing and joking, and we just connected. The chemistry between David and I was so strong that everyone was aware, and people weren't happy, obviously, because I was being very unprofessional, and he's a married man. So, this girl came up, sat between us, and we were chatting and laughing, and he just kept looking at me, and then it dawned on me that what he'd asked me, and I did want to go back with him. So, you know, we just sort of gave each other a look and a nod of the head and paid the bill, and we left.
So tell me about the emotions. You'd left the hotel, you presumably went home. How did you feel?
Yeah, it's very breathless, very, very happy, smiling. You know, I got home and my mother said, "Oh, where have you slept? Where have you spent the night?" And she could just tell by the look on my face. She knew. I didn't have to tell her. She knew. She just said, "Well, I hope you're being careful."
So at the time, Rebecca was more than happy to be back with David. Now, David Beckham has given a statement in the past saying, "During the past few months, I have been accustomed to reading more and more ludicrous stories about my private life. The simple truth is I'm happily married and I have a wonderful wife and 2 special kids. There's nothing any third party can do to change this." Now, as I mentioned, she did a recent interview with 60 Minutes Australia, and here's what she had to say.
Did you have a day or a moment that you remember where you sat there and you went, "I just wish this never happened"?
I wish that I had maybe been a bit smarter in the way that the decisions I had made. Definitely had some moments like that. But
I feel like we're not getting the juice of it. I mean, maybe that's why we have this blind item about this kid. I don't know.
things were done the way they were done, and you just have to learn from it. And he really made me feel special. Like, you know, he seemed like a very sort of caring boss.
How did Victoria take that attention towards you?
I'm not sure I received that much attention when she was there. And she would come and go. So when they were in Madrid, it was, you know, you're the first person they see in the morning and the last person they see in the evening. He said, "Let's go back to my hotel." And I was like, "I'm not going back to your hotel room."
So, well, really, I mean, so she was sneaking around with him. It's what it sounds like. And I mean, I'm sure Victoria was overly consumed with all their kids that she probably did not notice at first.
Like, "Come on, you're my boss, f*** off." I think I actually said that to him. I actually said, "F*** off." No way. And then he just kept looking at me, and then I gave in. So we went back to his hotel room.
What was the moment that you were like, "I'm going to go"?
Oh, it's just the look in his eyes and the way he looks at you, and it's quite hard not to. He's got a certain charismatic power about him. He's very good-looking, and I think he can easily get what he wants.
You can tell she's told this story quite a few times. Now, this situation with Rebecca did in fact bother Victoria, because she actually said in their recent series he did on Netflix that the worst time in her life was whenever he was switched to the Real Madrid team, which to me signifies how their relationship was struggling because of this other woman. Let's get into Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. This blind item reads, "This A-list celebrity is an offspring and contacted a divorce attorney. The thing is, though, the divorce attorney also does probate, which handles conservatorships." Now, recently, Justin Bieber has been going through it, and the concern continues to rise, especially with his social media activity, and it seems like Hailey isn't doing too great herself either with the Selena Gomez stuff, so they're both going through it. This comment reads, "What kind of idiot let that Bieber kid marry a Baldwin without a prenup?" Now, I don't know if that's true, but if they don't have a prenup, that is crazy work. Cheyenne commented, "There's a lot of hate being directed her way all of a sudden. It's weird now that Selena has found herself a serious partner. Her fans are digging up old theories about how Justin dumped Selena for Hailey. They care more about that relationship than Selena does." This person responded, "My impression of Hailey is that she's generally done a good job of looking after Justin's mental health, but in my personal opinion, I feel like Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco getting together was his breaking point." This comment reads that Stephen Baldwin, Hailey's father, is salivating at the thought of getting half of Justin's fortune. Christmas Tree by Gaga wrote, "Hailey is a very weird woman who apparently went around trying to do everything short of skinning Selena alive and draping her skin over her own back in the day. And finally, she and her creepy dad totally stalked Justin. Hailey would find out which hotel he was staying at and literally hang around there for hours." Okay, so we've got a lot of opinions, people. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. This headline reads, "Troubled Justin Bieber displays unusual new tattoo dedicated to wife Hailey." Justin has been posting a bunch on social media talking about anger issues, posting very random photos. He went on Instagram Live the other day, and it seems like he was very gaunt, hollowed-eyed is what the Daily Mail is writing. And of course, the couple raised even more eyebrows. We talked about this whenever they were spotted at the same restaurant, but not together. It's bizarre. We talked about that in a past video. Go check it out. But he has this new tattoo, which reads H22, which seems like a tribute to Hailey's initials. Now, of course, the H stands for Hailey, and the 22 refers to November 22nd, which is her birthday. As we know, Hailey recently broke her silence about unfollowing Justin on Instagram with a bunch of rumors swirling about the state of their marriage. She claims it was a glitch, that she did not unfollow him, but everything seems a little bit bizarre. I wouldn't be surprised if she is contacting some kind of attorney. I don't know in which capacity, but a conservatorship would be really scary to see Justin Bieber a part of that. Justin Bieber, of course, has been posting a bunch on his Instagram stories, and he posted one story I wanted to share with you guys. It reads, "Me acting nonchalant after an argument to make my bae more mad." Which again, is this about Hailey and his relationship?
Hope your day gets better.
Shut the fuck up!
Positive energy.
Shut up! You don't understand English!
No entiendo.
Do you not understand English?
Wait, if that is what their relationship is like, Hailey, you need to run. Hailey responded in her own way. She shared another TikTok about trying to psychoanalyzing people when they do her wrong, with a person telling the camera, maybe your father didn't spend enough time with you. Maybe your mother didn't spend enough time with you. Maybe you didn't get enough attention from your parents. Which, what is that supposed to be? Is that like shade? Like, I had a great childhood with my parents, so I don't know if you're trying to talk about me, Hailey, but some people are supporting her with this comment reading, "Hailey Bieber is so real for reposting this." Maybe it's about Justin, actually. That would be kind of evil if it was about Justin. Another person wrote, "Mother Hailey, we get you." And this person writes, "These Hailey reposts are killing me." Oh, maybe it is about Justin, because this person writes, "Hailey Bieber laughing about the life of her husband." I don't really like that. Not a fan. Now, this is interesting because we've talked about Shawn Mendes getting trapped in this cult in the past. It's called Modern Mystery School. I remember doing a deep dive on this like about a year ago, and it seems like things have gotten worse. This blind item reads, "Speaking of the north of the border singers, this crash and burn one who wanted to be an actor is really deep with his cult right now." This comment reads that Shawn was here in Brazil on Friday night and he cried on stage. He looks too thin and is weirdly happy. Weird as in superficial. Another comment reads that Shawn Mendes seems very lost these days. I wonder what happened to him. Now, we did see Shawn Mendes commenting on Bad Bunny's photos recently, writing "guapo." So it seems like he's becoming more comfortable with his orientation. Shawn's comment on Bad Bunny's photo comes after his relationship with Camila Cabello and Sabrina Carpenter. And then in October, he addressed his audience during a performance in Colorado, telling them that he's on a journey to figure out his sexuality. Well, go ahead, Shawn, do your big one.
Now, I know Shawn Mendes likes a spicy Latina, but this one's mine, all right? Back up, Shawn. You can't have him. What are you doing here, Ariana? What are you doing here? I'm all for you figuring out your sexuality. Do you, boo? Do you, sister? But not with my man. Okay? He's happy. He has a family. He got kids, Shawn, please. Jolene. I'm warning you, woman, stay away from my man.
Now I want to talk about Jonah Platt, Rachel Zegler, Ben Platt, and Noah Galvin. This blind item reads, apparently the Nepo baby offspring Jonah Platt, who recently went after the princess actress Rachel Zegler, is in a war with his celebrity brother, Ben Platt, and brother-in-law, Noah Galvin, who have the polar opposite viewpoints. This could get interesting. This comment reads, he told no lies. He was merely responding to the attack on his dad for going to confront Rachel. His leaving to do that was odd, but we no longer see kids coming to bat for parents like that anymore. Disney royally effed up with Snow White, and Rachel decided to pile on with her views. She's the reason the movie tanked by merely illuminating the chaos that was to begin with. Now, it is interesting the producer's son did blame Rachel for the Snow White criticism, and it seems like a lot of people are blaming Rachel. Jonah wrote that it was the lead actor's actions that harmed the film. Rachel was posting a bunch of things on her Instagram, some things that were pretty political that Disney did not want on, on their reputation. It looks like, as per Variety's report, a statement prompted Disney executives to contact the actor's team, with Mark flying out to speak to her in person. Defending Rachel, a user called out the act under a now deleted Instagram post, writing, "Your dad flew to New York City to reprimand a young actress. Any word on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. People have the right to free speech, no? Shame on your father." Now, Mark is the producer, and of course, Jonah is his son, and that is the person who's blaming Rachel. Jonah responded saying, "You really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of this Disney film with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics in the middle of promoting the movie, which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and to do publicity for." He added, "This is adult responsibility and accountability. Her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions." He also added more. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film. She hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues, crew, and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged.
Full-on peak nepotism brain rot. This man, not a producer, not anyone involved in the creative process, just the producer's son, with a podcast, I believe, took it upon himself to drag Rachel Zegler online, blaming her for Snow White flopping because she used her voice. Not for clout, not to hijack a movie campaign, but because silence felt wrong.
Now, Variety wrote in their report that there had been a lot of problems behind the scenes and tension with Rachel and everyone else, including Gal Gadot. Rachel referred to Gal as a professional pageant queen in an Instagram comment. An insider said that Rachel did not understand the repercussions of her actions as far as what it meant for the film. Well, you know what? That's Rachel's lesson alert. I can't imagine calling your co-star, your co-lead, some pageant queen. It seems very dismissive, but good luck to Rachel on her next gig. Let's talk about Jessica Simpson. This former A-list singer and international movie star thought her snake sperm idea would go viral like her chicken of the sea thing back in the day. So it was planned. Now, if this is true, this is so nasty. I can't even fathom. This comment reads that Jessica used to be cute, but like others before her, she has morphed into something quite the opposite with all that stuff in her face and lips. Marissa commented, "But how did they get the sperm from the snake? That seems time consuming. You probably have a lot of snakes you have to go through." Another comment reads, "Absolutely effing vile. No wonder her man left her." I mean, sorry. Okay. I'm gagging. Jessica Simpson drinks snake sperm to improve vocals, says it tastes like honey. Oh, hell no. She posted it on Instagram, and again, it does seem like she's trying way too hard to be quirky. Like, damn it, Jessica, what are you on? Now you're drinking snake sperm? Like, it's probably messing with your mind.
They're like, what are you drinking? Because, it's this Chinese herb thing. And I'm like, I don't know. And my vocal coach told me to drink it. And she
kind of reminds me of, if you guys watched Traders, Carolyn on Traders, kind of a little too quirky, questionably quirky.
Ingredients and snake sperm.
No, is it tea?
It's like a honey. So if you want a good vocal, you got to drink snake sperm.
Oh God. As we all know, Jessica's been going through a divorce from her husband, Eric Johnson. She's been working on new music. It looks like she's tapping into country music. She just came out with an album that I personally have not listened to yet. Comment below if you have. She said, "I'm a woman now and I can do what I want to have freedom in music. I think that's what you're going to feel in Nashville Canyon," her album. She reflected on her past, saying she knew she wasn't going to be the manufactured pop star that abided by every rule in the 2000s. "I was never going to win because I had someone like Britney and Christina went ahead of me who were selling so many more records. I didn't want to dance, I didn't want to wear a head mic, but I agreed to do it because I worked for Sony and I didn't want to let them down. Now, I'm glad that she's tapping into music. Music can be very healing, especially because it's been an outlet for Jessica for a very long time. I do miss her acting days, but here is a video that she posted on Instagram not too long ago, and I just wanted you guys to see a little bit more of her behavior. I mean, I can see why people are worried about our girl Jessica.
To be a woman in the music business, you got a lot of bravery. I would say always trust your gut, always trust your instinct, and never be shy about it, because only you know who you are as an artist.
Morgan Wallen found himself in some trouble. The country singer did the same thing at rehearsal. They just assumed he wouldn't do it for the show. They assumed wrong. And this is about Morgan Wallen and his appearance on SNL. Morgan Wallen disappointed so many people during his SNL appearance. This comment reads, "Good riddance." Another person writes, "He is such an a-hole. If he thinks he's too cool for that, why did he agree to go on?" Now, pretty much Morgan Wallen storms off of the SNL stage, snubbing cast during goodbyes. Morgan made an unusual exit, leaving fans puzzled. He performed 2 songs, "I'm the Problem" and "Just in Case," but it was his behavior at the end of the show. During the traditional show finale, where the full cast typically joins the musical guests on stage, Morgan appeared visibly uncomfortable. He did not speak, leaving Mikey Madison to address the audience with "Thank you so much to Morgan Wallen. I had a wonderful time. Thank you all." Morgan gave a brief salute to the audience and shared a quick hug with Mikey Madison, then exited the stage, bypassing the usual hugs and moments with the cast. A few of the SNL regulars also seemed to notice his sudden departure, glancing off stage as the credits rolled.
How are you? Thank you so much to Morgan Wallen. I had a wonderful time. Thank you all.
It seems like he was kind of like saying something at the very beginning of that bit. Can we just put a very brief moment of like maybe the few words he said there? Let's play that clip.
How are you? Thank you so much.
Okay, let's go ahead and see. So we've got him briefly hugging Mikey Madison. We've got the cast behind chilling. And then there he goes. She turns around to go and say hi to everyone. And you can see people looking off too. It's kind of like, hey, oh, where'd he go? As everyone starts to say goodbye. You know, SNL loves to copyright us. They love to. But yeah, look at everyone having a good time. He just dipped. Maybe like the cast were talking bad about him. One person wrote, "Wow, Morgan just walking off a stage during the credits? In decades of watching SNL, I've never seen that." Another person wrote, "Morgan Wallen said, I didn't want to be here either. That's exactly what the show gets for having him in the first place." Now, of course, this behavior and this kind of attention isn't great for anyone, especially someone who's got a past, like Morgan Wallen's SNL performance as he returns to show after N-word scandal. Oh God. 4 years ago, he stalled his career after he was caught on tape shouting the N-word outside his home in February 2021. He was initially banned from several major corporations who own an empire of radio stations, but after 4 months, owners had quietly allowed stations to begin playing his music again. One person wrote, "Every Morgan Wallen song sounds the same. He's the Taylor Swift for guys who are forklift certified." Shout out to everyone who's forklift certified in the comments below. Why does SNL continue to subject its audience to Morgan Wallen? This person wrote,
Kenan Thompson did an interview today where he addressed the Morgan Wallen walking off stage at SNL while the end credits rolled that everyone found extremely strange. Then we all know Morgan followed it up with this Instagram story, "Get me to God's country," with a picture of his private jet, which has become a huge Twitter meme at this point. But Kenan said, "I don't know what goes through people's minds when they decide to do stuff like that. I don't know if he understood the assignment or not, or if he was really feeling a certain kind of way. I thought maybe he had to go to the potty or something." Thinking that Morgan Wallen was going to shit himself and that's why he ran off the stage is honestly really funny, but then he says it's definitely a spike in the norm. We're used to everyone just turning around and high-fiving us and saying, good job, good job. So when there's a departure from that, it's like, I wonder what that's about. The God's country of it all is strange to say because it's like, what are you trying to say? You're trying to say that we're not all in God's country? We're not all in God's country? We're not all under God's umbrella? That's not necessarily my favorite. I feel like we all assumed Morgan Wallen's SNL episode was going to be a mess, but I don't think any of us expected it to be this bad.
We've got another Blake Lively related blind item along with Ryan Reynolds. A decade ago, this A-list actress and her higher on the list husband came then close to getting divorced. They had everything settled and worked out and then didn't go through with it. I wonder if he wishes he had. Now, I hate statements like this, like regretful ones. We can't live in regret. I mean, I hope he doesn't regret marrying her, but you know what? We don't know what he's feeling now. Maybe he discovered who she was. I mean, I think he's just as bad as she is. So I think they're a perfect match in hell. This comment reads, this marriage is crazy dysfunctional and they bring out the narcissistic worst in each other, yet they're so perfect for each other. Blake and Ryan deserve each other. This comment reads, hold the phone, let's do the math. Filming with Mitchell Huseman began March 5th, 2014. Blake gave birth to her and Ryan's first child on December 16th, 2014. Yikes. Well, pretty much what they are suggesting is that maybe Blake was having an affair with another co-star in 2014, and that's why they were having problems, her and Ryan, why they were getting close to possibly divorcing at that point. Also, it's suspicious that she gave birth in December of that year, yet the affair rumors were in earlier of 2014, like the time when she would have been getting pregnant. Now, this is really fascinating. We might need a deeper dive on this because in 2014, April, there was this article that came out that Ryan Reynolds fears that Blake Lively is cheating with her co-star, Mitchell Huseman. This article reads, you know what? You have to wonder what went wrong with Ryan's marriage to Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett's been dropping plenty of hints the last few months while promoting Captain America. From bits and pieces, it seems like she's alluding to jealousy being a problem within their marriage. Ryan moved on very quickly with Blake Lively, so they're suggesting this could be another issue again. Ryan is a little bit jealous of Blake's co-star. So she's in this film, The Age of Adeline, with Mitchell Huseman, and it looks like Ryan is acting very possessive. He's showing up to the Vancouver set of the movie. A source explained that she's been doing night shoots and Ryan keeps showing up, which infuriates her. He appears to be worried about Blake's relationship with her hunky co-star, Mitchell Huseman. This is Blake's first film in ages, so it could be that the couple just wants to spend time together, but Ryan's jealousy issues may be rearing their ugly head again, if that's what broke up his marriage to Scarlett Johansson. Here's a clip of Blake and her co-star, Mitchell, doing some press for that movie, Age of Adeline.
I used to think that, like, comic actors probably had the worst time watching themselves do ridiculous things on screen, but then I thought maybe doing sentimental scenes is actually harder to watch back. Is it hard to watch yourself?
Is. Yeah, I think so. I think sentimental scenes are tough.
Yes, no?
I mean, he is really leaning into her.
I find everything kind of tough to see. You know, if I'm in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, especially the first time you see it, right? Because you're remembering, like, oh, that was the day that we were really cold, or, or oh my God, I thought I was doing something else, and it actually turns out I'm doing
God,
that.
I have such an ugly cry face. That also happens.
Yes. Both these characters are pretty likable throughout the movie, and I was wondering, how don't you relate to these characters besides the fact that you're not 110 or whatever?
Well, that's an interesting question because everyone asks how you do relate to them.
That's not what I'm asking.
Yeah, I know. In many ways, as how I don't relate to her.
Let's move on to our next blind item. This is about Bella Hadid and Faye Kedra. It reads, this barely there celebrity offspring was supposed to raise some money for a group and realized that it would probably be illegal, so they didn't. That was what the confrontation overseas was about. Michael Kelly in the comments breaks it down even further. Bella Hadid and Faye Kedra had a big blowout in Paris. They have unfollowed each other. Funny because she maintained her friendship with him even after his sister started sleeping with her former BF behind her back, so it must be something big. TMZ did report on an incident that went down with Bella Hadid and her longtime friend Faye. It all went down at the Saint Laurent after party on March 11th, and Bella was repeatedly asking this guy, Faye, I believe it's Faye, to leave her alone throughout the night. He refused to do so and acted inappropriately towards her, verbally berating her and raising his hands over her in aggression. It never got physical, but it looks like it was not friendly. He harassed her. People said Bella looked very uncomfortable and the two did not leave on speaking terms. Now, he's an artist and an influencer with more than 2 million followers on Instagram, and he's close to HAILEY BIEBER, Kendall, Kylie Jenner. Now, I don't think it's a relationship type of thing. I don't think they're arguing because they're romantically linked, but I am interested.
This is pretty interesting because it seems like Faye no longer follows Bella and Bella no longer follows Faye. I'm not positive if they followed each other and never really checked that before, but like they were tight, like that group of people, like they were friends. But Faye still does follow her sister Gigi Hadid. As most of you guys probably know, Faye is besties with Kendall Jenner. We see them together everywhere. He's very tight with the Jenners. And the Jenners are very tight with the Hadids. So they were all like one big group of friends until now. And now eyewitnesses are saying that the two got into an intense verbal argument and they didn't leave on speaking terms. Little side note, Faye's sisters are Simi and Hayes. And Simi is with The Weeknd. They've been together for a while now. And obviously we know The Weeknd and Bella Hadid had a on and off again relationship for years. And Bella was close to Simi and Hayes before Simi started dating The Weeknd. I do not know if this has anything to do with that, but I just thought it was an important side note.
This is about Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Furness. It reads, the ex of this foreign-born A-list, mostly movie actor, is refusing to sign an NDA as part of their split. She knows a lot of things about him that he would never want to see the light of day. Now, I don't think Deborah anticipated, her divorce from Hugh Jackman after so long. So I'm glad that she's holding on to some of these secrets in case he tries to do her dirty again. He's already done her pretty dirty. This comment reads, well, Hugh Jackman will have to up the money then, because if you have secrets to keep, you have to pay. Another commenter added, she's probably annoyed that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were one of the ones that were behind her split with Hugh. Hush Hush commented, this isn't a problem for Hugh Jackman, but for the people he was involved with. Not just the marketing disaster if he's gay, but for the studios who makes him money. Hollywood's gay mafia won't take this lightly, so she should sign the NDA and be quiet. That's their advice. Now, I don't know about the gay mafia. They haven't reached out to me, but it does look like his divorce is getting messy. After 27 years of marriage, it looks like they have a disagreement on how to divvy up their fortune. He's worth $100 million and she's worth $50 million. They married in 1996 and did not sign a prenup. She was the bigger star when they first got together, but this insider adds that Hugh and Deborah have not yet filed for divorce because they are struggling to reach an agreement on how to divide assets. Deborah feels entitled to more money than Hugh is willing to offer. It looks like Deb is currently rebuilding her life and taking a vacation to Bhutan. I don't even know where that is, to start fresh and to get away from the pain. She's relied on a strong support system of female friends. She also spends time with other women who have been through similar situations who are supporting her. So good for Deb having her friends around her, not including Blake Lively.
Left his ride or die wife, Deborah, for Sutton Foster. Yeah, so he doesn't want to pay. She's been with him from the get-go, and bearing in mind, you're talking over like 20 years ago, back when prenups were not like everywhere. They didn't have a prenup. They thought they were going to be together forever. So there is no contract to use. Now, the media are trying to tell you that she's using his affair against him, but that doesn't work in the court. Unless there's a prenup that specifically has like a clause for you to keep it in your pants, the court really doesn't care if one of you cheated. It really doesn't factor in.
Our last blind item is a scary one. It's about Prince Andrew, Jeffrey Epstein, and his victim, Virginia. There is so much more going on behind the scenes with this person who took down the royal and the billionaire. It isn't a car accident that has her in this condition. Now, everything related to Epstein just freaks me out, but I did see this cryptic photo that Virginia had shared recently. This commenter added, there was a minor crash between a car and a school bus just after 3 p.m. on March 24th in Perth. There was a 41-year-old passenger in the car that is Virginia's age. Police say there's no reported injuries, but $2,000 worth of damage. Another comment reads that Virginia's so lucky that her lovely jewelry wasn't damaged in such a terrible crash. Also, no blood on her top, and just a miracle that her phone survived so that she could share these very sad pictures with the world. Emerald City replied, I find the 4 days to live because of kidney failure a red flag. All her bruises appear to be one side, and you do have 2 kidneys, rather than the unlucky bus got both kidneys. Now you guys are probably like, what the hell? Well, pretty much Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew's accuser, Virginia, says she has 4 days to live after a car crash. She shared a devastating photo on her page. This year has been the worst start to a new year, but I won't bore anyone with the details. I think it's important to note that when a school bus driver comes at you driving 110 kilometers, which how fast is that in miles per hour? I don't know. As we were slowing for a turn, that no matter what your car is made of, it might as well be a tin can. She claims that they had given her 4 days to live and transferred her to a specialist hospital in urology. She ended the post by thanking her supporters, saying thank you to all the wonderful people of the world and for being a great part of my life. I'm still confused. Wait, so she got in a car accident and then started having kidney failure like at the same time? This blind item does seem like it's kind of adding up to something suspicious.
Now, it's understood Virginia Giuffre took herself to Joondalup Health Campus with a pre-existing injury following the accident. Tests were carried out indicating a kidney problem. She was then released, coming here to Sir Charles Gardner Hospital today for an unknown reason.
I do know there was an accident on the 24th of March. It was a bus with another vehicle. It was reported by the bus driver. We have no report of any serious injuries.
It's understood Virginia Giuffre has lived in Perth since 2020, and in 2022 she reached a financial settlement with Prince Andrew, who she claims sexually assaulted her when she was 17 after being introduced by Jeffrey Epstein. And this afternoon we understand the 41-year-old remains here at Sir Charles Gardner Hospital, Mon.
Keep in mind that Virginia has some very powerful enemies out here. I mean, Epstein is allegedly gone. We've got Ghislaine Maxwell, who is a mortal enemy. And then we've got, of course, Prince Andrew. While she settled with a bunch of these people, there's still a story to be told, which I can understand why maybe these evil people don't want her around.
He asked me to dance. He is the most hideous dancer I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was horrible, and this guy was sweating all over me. Like, his sweat was like, it was raining basically everywhere, and I was just like, whoa, grossed out from it. But I knew I had to keep him happy because that's what Jeffrey and Ghislaine would expect from me. People on the inside are going to keep coming up with these ridiculous excuses, like his arm was elongated, or the photo was doctored, or he came to New York to break up with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, come on. I'm calling BS on this because that's what it is. He knows what happened. I know what happened. And there's only one of us telling the truth, and I know that's me.
Of course, Prince Andrew has said on the record that he has no idea who this woman is, that he doesn't know what she's talking about, that he is an innocent man, but I am calling BS. If you guys have watched this entire video, thank you so much for tuning in. I am going to be at Coachella first weekend. I'm really excited. I went to Coachella the last 2 years, and I never made it through the entire Coachella. We all remember how bad my Coachella was 2 years ago. If you have been with me since then, you guys know. If you know, you know. Oh my gosh, I think I removed that video though. You know, we accepted that was part of the past and we've moved on, but I'm excited for this year of Coachella. I'm excited to see you guys that are going to be there. And if you are going, comment below. And yeah, thank you for tuning in to this episode. I didn't change the background to Blinded and Breakdown. See, look, so every time I'll give you a little behind the scenes. So whenever I do like a new video, I have the artwork here. See, so I usually do that, but I didn't do it today. Oh well, we'll switch it back though. Cute. Okay. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.